Yeah, 6 years old, I tried my first pair of Jordans on. Mama, can you carry me?
Anderson Paak had a rough childhood. When he was just 7 years old, he witnessed his dad strangle his mother in their front yard. His father was arrested and ended up serving 15 years in prison. That was the last time Paak saw his dad before he ultimately passed away in 2011. His mother thankfully lived, but was arrested years later on tax fraud while Paak was a senior in high school. He recalls back to his senior year getting a call during school and being told, quote, "Your mother was arrested today."
How did you respond to that?
I put everything into music.
Now, almost 30 years after his dad's arrest, Anderson Paak has had a super successful career. We've all seen the headlines, working with Dr. Dre, releasing the Grammy Award-winning album Silk Sonic, as well as releasing some classic projects. But no one knows about the struggle Paak had to endure to get to where he's at today. Before getting his big break after nearly 10 years in the industry, he was grinding away working odd jobs to just feed himself, his wife, and his newborn while still making music on the side to keep his dream alive. When he first started out, Anderson Paak actually released music under the name Breezy Lovejoy.
Truth hurts, sweeter than nougat.
In 2010, he released a mixtape called Shit I Can't Clear and an EP, Violets Are Blue. Neither got any attention, and Paak didn't quit his day job, which was actually in Santa Barbara working on a weed farm clipping the buds. It was paying okay, but not great, so Paak, being sly, started slipping small baggies for himself to sell on the side. But in 2011, this caught up to him. He was let go with no warning and consequently was left homeless with a wife and baby. With nothing left for them in Santa Barbara, he drove him and his family to Los Angeles and began to really pursue music. While in LA, he and his family couch surfed around, and Breezy picked up drumming gigs here and there to make ends meet. He then released Out of Body Experience Volume 1 and in the same year Lovejoy. These releases got him a bit of a buzz in the LA music scene and also landed him his first manager, Brian Lee. Brian financially supported Breezy, who now went by Anderson Paak, which is a play on his middle and last name. And with the new name was a small but extremely important characteristic, the dot. For Paak, it serves as a reminder for the detail he puts in everything he does, saying people take you as serious as you take yourself. No longer having to worry about money, Paak locked in. Literally. He actually took this period in his life to enter his incubation phase. The incubation phase started in early 2013. According to him, he, quote, locked himself in a studio for a good 6 to 8 months. During this period, Anderson Paak created some of his best songs. And also during this time, he'd drop another project, Cover Art, which featured covers of famous songs. According to Paak, the inspiration for this project came from white musicians in the 50s. They made a lucrative career taking songs written by black R&B and blues singers and remaking them. This would be the precursor to rock and roll. Paak flipped the script though. For this project, he took classics like Blackbird from the Beatles, but put a more bluesy spin on it.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see.
With a small buzz locally, Paak met producer Callum Connor, known as Low Def, who invited him to record regularly at his North Hollywood studio. Well, this is where he recorded his first major album, Venice. One song in particular from this album would blow up. This song's sound is very different than what Paak had been doing up until then. That track was called Drugs, and it would serve as the catalyst, breaking Anderson Paak at the national level, given its unique synths and trap back beat.
She can be my wifey.
Also around this time, Paak would sign with a new manager, Adrian Miller, who to this day represents Paak. He told Anderson Paak how much he believed in him as an artist, and he did put his money where his mouth is. He sold his own house in Woodland Hills to finance Paak's career. So safe to say, Miller was all in. And Adrian Miller is in fact the hero in Paak's story. Yes, he did something better than financing Paak's whole career. Miller would have one single move that would absolutely explode Anderson Paak onto the music scene. With his connections, Miller got Anderson Paak and himself a meeting with Dr. Dre's attorney with the hope that he would represent Anderson Paak. But there was a bit of a hidden agenda beneath it all, because at the end of the meeting, Miller slipped in this little bit to the attorney. He told him, "I think you should introduce Anderson's music to Dre." Dre's attorney laughed at this and told Miller Dre's not signing any artists. Well, fast forward 6 months and Dre would invite Paak to his studio.
So we get to the studio and the first two people I see are Dr. Dre and DOC. Bro, let me get on the mic and just go off. For me, at situations like that, it's all about making an impression.
And he did make an impression, because Dre would put him on 6 of the 16 tracks for his first album in more than 15 years, Compton. For Paak, the timing couldn't have been any more perfect. When he first started working with Dre, his forthcoming album was already halfway done. So once he finished working with Dre on Compton, not only did this shoot him into the limelight and put a huge anticipation for his next album, but he also used this momentum to get some huge artists on the project that he wouldn't have been able to before. For example, Paak visiting Ninth Wonder in North Carolina, who produced track 7 and serendipitously feature Rhapsody on it too, just because she happened to be at Ninth Wonder's studio that day. With the final touches being laid down, Anderson Paak would finally release the album on January 15th, 2016. This album is Malibu, and it would solidify him as a mainstay in hip-hop. Malibu went on to get rave reviews, become a cult classic with fans, and earn a Grammy nomination. Since then, Anderson Paak has been on a tear. Most recently, he dropped his No Worries follow-up album with producer Knowledge, which features Snoop Dogg, Thundercat, and Earl Sweatshirt to name a few. He also recently collaborated with Fred again on the track Places to Be, which is definitely going to be in the rotation for all of summer. And according to his agent Adrian Miller, new music is on the way. Recently in a Rolling Stone interview, Miller said, "I can say that he's definitely going to have another Anderson Paak album coming soon." From a rough childhood to homeless with a wife and kids, Anderson Paak did the impossible. And he did the impossible while keeping that trademark smile on his face the whole time. If you enjoyed this video, the only thing I ask is please subscribe. We upload every Thursday on a relevant music topic. If you're the music head in your friend group, then Tofa Media is for you. Also, if you go into our description, there's a link to some merchandise we sell, as well as a link to join our Discord where we talk all things music. Thanks for watching.